A randomized controlled trial of liraglutide for aldosteronism with obesity. Definition: liraglutide is a product research from the Novo Nordisk laboratory and is sold under the name obesity. It is used to treat type 2 diabetes mellitus and can reduce body weight.
Randomized controlled trials have been used mostly in medicine. They've become very, very widely used in economics, but also in other social sciences. Evidence-based policy is one of the magic words of the day. And while everybody thinks evidence is a good idea, what we argue is that there's no special status attached to randomized controlled trials, even though a lot of people think they should have a special status, and that evidence from randomized controlled trials is somehow better than other evidence. Usually, for instance, when we do economics, you have to control for other things. So if someone has more money than others and they behave differently, it might be because they have more money, they have more education, they might be a man versus a woman, they might be lots of different things. And a standard economic procedure would be that you have to control for these various things. In randomized controlled trials, it sort of looks like you don't, because the rhetoric would say something like, the only difference between these two groups is the treatment because they've been randomly assigned. And that's
Application in nursing. Nursing staff should administer correct dose per patient. Glycemic control, evaluate weight by established time intervals, is a adverse effect of medication.
Hello and welcome back to this Global Health YouTube channel. My name is Greg Martin. We're in the middle now of doing a series of videos on research methods and study design. The last video we looked at case control studies and cohort studies. In this video we're going to look at randomized controlled trials. And we're going to take a look at the idea of confounding and talk about why it is that randomized controlled trials are so good at controlling for confounding. The starting point is we take a group of people who have now volunteered. These are trial participants. They've said, yes, we will participate in your trial. And we randomly assign them to two groups. Now, it's important that they're randomly assigned to the two groups because what we want is we want these groups to be similar in every possible way. The one group gets an intervention. That intervention might be a drug, it might be, there's a number of things can it be. Keep in mind that randomized controlled trials don't have to have people, individuals, as the subject of interest. They could be communities, it could be a hospital, but for the purpose of this talk, let's imagine that these are people.
Pros and cons. Pros: it can be used as a single drug in a combination with other drugs such as metformin and sulfonylurea that are commonly used in the treatment of diabetes mellitus. Cons: it causes hyperglycemia, nausea, diarrhea, and headache.
An aldosteronoma is usually a benign tumor of the adrenal gland that is making too much aldosterone. Aldosterone is a hormone that controls the salt and potassium in our body, but more importantly also controls the blood pressure. And so an aldosteronoma is important to get treated because it's one potentially very treatable cause for high blood pressure. We can usually treat it through a minimally invasive adrenalectomy.
It should apply in Ecuador. A trial of liraglutide conducted in Ecuador or 3,731 overweight and obese diabetes-free non-diabetic volunteers from 5 continents administered the drug for 52 weeks in combination with a diet and physical activity program. It showed that liraglutide had managed to reduce body weight by an average of 8.4 kilograms, compared to 2.8 kilograms achieved by those in the placebo group.